right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Sorry for the late upload. Unfortunately, had some stuff pop up, and also I woke up a little bit late as well. We've got some drama to uncover in today's video between Gnaske, Imperial How, and Minus Tempo, and it's actually still developing as we speak. So crazy stuff going on. Also some results inside of Oversight Pro Series and their block results. We've got some surprising ones and a team that I really want to start following now that they are really showing how much they are worth inside of this scene. I'm very excited, and it's not a North American team, so very excited to see how this goes down. And then also some ranked updates I want to keep you guys informed with as well. So like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date with all things inside of the ALGS scene. And without further ado, let's dive into it. Firstly, I want to make mention of, this was a goofy post obviously Moist Esports had put out, but in preparation for ALGS playoffs, Moist is excited to sign Destroyer 2009 with unmatched aim, unbelievable map awareness, and expert technical abilities. So really good signing for Moist Esports if this gets through. But Shaw had actually responded, oh boy. Moist says, this is pending league approval, by the way, but what could they dig up that our White Claw fueled 11 p.m. search on LinkedIn couldn't? And you know, this is actually hilarious, but hopefully this is the last that we see of Destroyer 2009, at least for quite some time. But have a bad feeling that it might not be. Also want to mention, Mande had posted, this is not an April Fool's joke, unfortunately, but since it's not the first anymore, I can finally make the official tweet and say that I am no longer a part of TSM. And I want to thank everyone at TSM for giving me a chance on one of my favorite orgs and a dream org of mine. Love you all, and new chapter begins now. A lot of support here in the comments, and unfortunate, obviously, we loved Mande being on TSM. I think he was a great content creator. He fit in well. He even said that he declined bigger offers because he wanted to go to TSM where all his friends were, and it was unfortunate to see. But I guess at the end of the day, you know, business is business, and things always change, things always move along. Also wanted to mention some new changes coming out of EXO Clan. They had actually posted yesterday, and I originally thought that this was an April Fool's joke. I tried to stay offline yesterday because it was so much you know, baiting, so much fake stuff out there. But EXO had said, today we part ways with our Apex roster, and it's been an incredible team to work with, and we thank them for their commitment. But this was Thorfinn and Fricks and in Young Hung Kong as well. And these guys actually follow me on Twitter. They even changed their bios, and I was like, oh, this is a big joke, man. They've already put previous EXO Clan in their bio. They've already changed all their stuff. Like, they're really going in with this April Fool's joke. It's not an April Fool's joke. It was totally real. So I even commented, so why do this on April Fool's? It's either poor timing or you guys are absolutely killing it. But we spoke with the owner. We actually spoke in a private conversation with the owner as well. It simply was a real roster change. But good news is something else is about to change. Don't get too worried. You're going to see a massive announcement. Make sure to be tuned in on our Twitter. We have a really good announcement coming later this evening that you guys are going to really be excited for when it comes to EXO Clan. So very excited to see how that goes down. Now, also want to make mention of the drama going on between Imperial How, Gnaske, and Minus Tempo. So this may have developed 15 hours ago, but I've got some messages earlier this morning to show and say that this is actually still developing and continuing right now. So it's actually a private conversation, but things are still getting more and more, and it's just nonstop. So it started off when Gnaske 15 hours ago said, I love Scrims. Scrims are the most fun thing in Apex apart from the tournaments itself. I love being a professional Apex player, and I'm so grateful. However, some people think that 6 games of Scrims is 2.5 hours per day for 30 days before LAN starts is too much. Cringe. Americans, obviously, you know, America, they're not gonna just listen to that. They're gonna come say something. So here comes Imperial How. Who in North America even said that? We were playing 8 games in North American scrims, fair point, before international scrims even started. Pretty sure it's due to other time zones being so late playing 8 games. Gnaske responded, well, I typed out a good solution in the Discord for how to at least get 8 games instead of 6 to shuffle around the time zone so that it wouldn't be that big of a difference. But basically, Minus Tempo implied that North America wouldn't sign up, and it wouldn't be the first time either, judging from previous international scrims. So you can see the message. And Gnaske said, well, what about starting earlier then, like an hour early or maybe even an hour later? That shouldn't be that bad. And Minus Tempo said, well, that's 6 a.m. North America is not going to show up then. And I think it's a fair point. You know, I don't think that any, you know, North American Apex ranked player that I know is going to wake up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., honestly, even 7 a.m. I'm shocked by. But these guys are playing scrims a little early, and it is weird when you've got people on all, you know, like different spots of the world. It is a challenging one. And then on the other side, I think, you know, Apex is staying up at midnight, past midnight. They're staying up pretty late. So I can see how, you know, much of a problem it could create or cause. However, Imperial Hal responded and said, I'm not going to lie, waking up at 5 a.m. is not it, and expecting to be playing at a high level is not it either. Gnaske said playing 6 games is, and then this is where things start to go crazy. Hal says it's something I don't know what to tell you. 8 games will become to the point of what's more important, quality or quantity, due to times and fatigue. Gnaske says, well, every international scrims that we've had 2 blocks. This is the first time with the group scrims we're only playing 6 per day per team, and we need a compromise for more than only 6 games per day. Don't be lazy, Hal. Then after Hal was called lazy, it basically just all fell apart. Hal said, you're literally diamond for who knows how long, the last many years in Apex, and you want to win? Don't talk to me about being lazy. Gnaske said, are you brain dead? You're literally implying ranked is the same as scrims. Hello? Hal said, it's not the same. I'm just talking about how much you put towards Apex is nowhere near close to me. But cause you called me lazy? Gnaske said, just because I don't play ranked doesn't mean about me being lazy. I put more time in Apex than the majority of players, and I just avoid ranked because I think it's insufficient practice. Your logic is absolutely flawed, and you're implying that you cannot be productive without playing ranked? Jesus, Hal. And Imperial Hal said, well, there's definitely many other tools to be more sufficient than ranked, for sure. Just keep coping, though. You came at me for no reason in a discussion, and there's a reason why your mechanics are below average. Then after he said that, Gnaske said, my stats imply that I'm actually above average in mechanics. And again, you've got flawed logic with no valid backing. Since I'm saying that I'm lazy and not putting me in due to my rank is beyond absurd that someone can have such low logical reasoning. 6 games is barely anything, and you vouching for it and not willing to compromise just implies that you back it, which would make you the lazy one. Regardless, I want more practice, and anyone who doesn't is a tool. So just really unfortunate stuff. But someone did respond, well, why don't you just ask, or why didn't you ask for EMEA to wake up at 5 a.m. at scrims? And Gnaske said, I wouldn't mind if it meant we could practice more, showing the DMs once again. And it basically just comes down to a time zone issue. And like, this is basically the conversation that they've already had, but the time zone issue does exist. And that seems to be the problem that we keep re-hitting over and over. It's not going to work for North America if you do this time. If you go any other time, it's not going to work for APAC South or APAC North. And I do want to say, to be fair and to play devil's advocate, I do think that the EMEA region is probably the most blessed in all of this. It's easier to make these decisions. It's easier to make these claims when you're waking up at 11, 12, 1, 2, whatever, those midday hours. But it is harder for those APAC guys if we're talking about 1 a.m. We're talking about 12 a.m. and it's harder for North America if we're talking about 5 a.m. 6 a.m. Those are weird hours that are not convenient to show up to. Obviously the midday hours are definitely a lot more convenient to show up to, and to my knowledge it seems like EMEA has the better end of the stick for all of this. So take it for what you will. But like I said, that was 15 hours ago. Conversations are still going on this morning. I heard that it actually sparked up again as they started scrims up today. And those conversations inside the Pro Discord are still ongoing. Unfortunate stuff, but hopefully these guys can, make out in the end and all is well. But Oversight also mentioned in their Pro Series results. So these are actually like the international scrims itself, and they're going into these blocks of scrims and such. So Dark Zero had actually won in Group A versus Group B. They're obviously the more favorited team. I think they're probably the strongest team in that group, and honestly in those 2 groups, and being the #1 North American team coming out of Pro League, many people expected this win. But one team I did not expect to win that I was very excited to see was Fnatic inside of Group C versus D. Now what's crazy is we literally just talked about Fnatic a couple of days ago. We saw them win in an Oversight international scrim, and I thought, well, that's good and all, but I don't think that they're going to maybe keep this consistency up. I put them, I think, in an A tier in my tier list, and I said I'm not just being recency biased there. I don't think that that one scrim win is going to do enough, but if they're starting to make this over and over and over, and they're playing on like 200 ping, by the way, this is really great and impressive coming out of Fnatic. And obviously we know this roster. These are some vets inside of the APAC North roster. These guys are not new. So I love to see some vets doing good. And Yuka F has been one of my favorite players to watch for quite some time. So, and also I think that Light was probably one of the better pickups that we saw in ALGS in the last couple of years. So really impressed with Fnatic. I gotta say, I am very impressed with Fnatic, and hopefully these guys can keep on keeping on. Also want to mention some quick fun fact results. And by the way, don't forget, we got some rule changes this year going into the Pro League. So, you know, Pro League actually had a weird situation where some of these teams could have had their placements affected slightly because of this new rule. So normally match point format is like no set of limit of games. You would just win. Whoever wins after the match point, you know, it's over. Well, now they had a rule change where if it happened within 4 games or within under 6 games, you have to play those other games out to see how the points would actually align, right? So that way it can help out the 20th place, and you know, those guys get more reps in overall so that you can at least get 6 games to see how you place. Well, Reject Winity actually won in 4 games for their regional finals, and it continued till game 6. And for the bonus points, Fnatic made it in A versus C in round 2. So really interested to see if that actually affected, or how much that affected people's you know, like playoff points, but really interested to see how like this actually affected anyone's final results at all. But you know, Reject Winity is one of my favorite teams inside of APAC North. I've already made that known as well. I thought they're a very very solid team, a roster that not many people really knew by name going into this as much, and I don't think many people had them on the top as far as prediction goes, because we all favored Riddle, Fnatic, Pulverex, and all that, all those vets. But you see new people you know, come up and show up, but these guys are goated players. They're not very new to Apex itself, just obviously competing in ALGS. There were some other respected names that many people were looking out for. Also, 2R1C and E8 qualified for LAN despite never winning a single game, according to Evan on this Apex Reddit thread. I thought that was a very interesting stat. And then Skirt becomes the worst invited team in Pro League history, finishing 28th with only 17 points. There was a team that was invited that finished 29th, but they got 32 points in a different region. So this is actually the worst that you see. And I hate that for Skirt, because obviously some respected players and some players that we love to see in the scene, and it looks like they're going to have to go through the trenches to get back into that Pro League. Also want to mention some LAN qualification facts. I thought this was interesting, but this will be the first LAN where Kashira, Postkill, and Drops will not be attending. Also, this will also be the end of the streak for K20, Fun FPS, Nathan, Anmu, Scurry, Surdell, Slayers, Vax, and Yuki for their streak of competing at LAN, and this is only limited to ALGS LAN. Very unfortunate stuff for them. If NRG doesn't sign a new roster, this will be the first time we won't see them at a LAN, and I don't think that they will or have plans to. But very interesting stats to go around all the least. Honestly, also French players not competing at ALGS LAN this year. This will be the first time in history. Really crazy stuff for ALGS LAN. We got a lot of crazy stats going on here, but also wanted to make mention of the ban wave. I'll talk more about this inside of my main channel video if you guys want to go check it out. But Bruno had posted, has there been a ban wave? There's been no cheaters, like 4 games straight. Normally there's like 4 cheaters in every single game. It's been fun to play, but we did apparently see that 4,300 people got purged from the leaderboards yesterday. 350 Preds got purged from the live ranked leaderboards of side of Apex Predator. So 4,300 in general, 350 Preds. Looks like a massive ban wave went out, but we'll dive more into that on our main channel. Also, we got some results from Oversight's Pro Series for Block 1 of today. And what do you know? Group A versus C was TSM taking the dub and Dark Zero in second place. So congratulations to TSM, obviously. Dark Zero in second, Elevate in third. You can see North America still doing great, but Northception was the one for me that I was surprised to see in the top 5. Legends Gaming also in the top 5. Fnatic back up there again. And then overall, it's North America doing solid in all of these. One thing that I was a little worried about was 07 in 14th place. Hoping to see some better results coming out of them, but those were from today. Of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date with all things inside of the ALGS scene. And until the next time, we will see you all later, Gators.